Hello. Um, sorry. It's about 1:50 in the morning, and I was scrolling through Tumblr, and sorry for the lighting, by the way. A thought occurred to me that I thought to make a Tumblr post about, but then it would just be this really long wall of text that no one would ever read, so I thought it'd be better to make a video about it. I think we would all get along better, both on Tumblr and real life, because despite Tumblr being a great community, there's a lot of bitching and moaning and blah 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 blah. Everyone in real life and on Tumblr, and really anywhere else on the internet, would get along so much better if we all just stopped giving a fuck. I don't mean giving a fuck about other people's opinions. I mean giving a fuck about everything. I mean, it starts with not caring about opinions, right? So, one person makes one comment and then another person disagrees with it. Except they keep the disagreement to themselves. Sure, they have different views, but they don't care what the other person thinks because it is not relevant to them. Okay? That's step one. But step two, going beyond that, is not caring about any of it. Not caring that such and such is transgendered or such and such is a different race, because none of it matters. And if everyone just gets it in their heads that none of it matters, and then everyone would get along better, the world would be a better place, and we wouldn't have as many problems. At least, that's what I think would happen. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's some sort of deep psychological thing that's more than just caring about all this. But I like to think, in my head, that everyone everyone cares with the greatest of intentions about being nice to other people, but caring isn't what you need to do. Caring is what you do with family members and pets and loved ones. You care about them. But strangers on the internet are not people you're supposed to care about. You're supposed to not give a crap about them. Not because they're strangers on the internet, but because they're just strangers. You don't know them. You don't know their story. For all you know, they've got some really complicated, sad, depressing backstory that you don't even know about. But you still care. But no, you don't care for people you don't know. What you do, if you really want everything to work out, is you don't give a fuck. Because then, right, you don't give a fuck. And so, it's like, you don't pass judgments because you really just don't care. This person, who's a stranger on the internet, who could have some deep, depressing backstory, if you just don't care about it because it's not your problem, then it's just, it never gets made a big deal of, which maybe the stranger wants to keep it that way. Maybe they only want to share it with specific people. It's just, I don't know, maybe this sounds crazy to other people, but I think that if we all stopped giving a fuck about everything, about race and gender and, I don't know, okay, this is gonna sound really terrible, but I'm not sure how to word it, women's rights and gay rights and things like that, everything would be so much better. I don't mean, we shouldn't have women's rights and gay rights. I totally support all that. But, I mean, if we just stopped making an issue out of it, and just stopped caring, and let people, approach those things and believe in those things as they do, without constantly having to produce some sort of a counter-argument to it, then Tumblr would definitely be an A+ community. And it wouldn't be full of all this, you're privileged white heterosexual male or whatever, so therefore your opinion isn't worth as much because you're what society deems the standard. Which, I mean, just stop caring about all of that. It doesn't matter. None of it matters. Okay? If someone, people are born into what they're born into. They can't control that. So judging people based on that is just downright stupid and obnoxious and honestly a bit childish. So if someone's a straight white male, shut up. Their opinion's just as valuable as yours, but because you care about the non-straight white male community or whatever, you feel the need to put the straight white male opinion beneath yours. And I'm not saying that because I'm a straight white male, okay? No, just it's common sense, okay? Everyone's opinion is equal, but the fact that on Tumblr, when one person makes an opinion, and then someone, it's just, you will always find a counter opinion, because for some reason, people can't just let opinions go. They always have to be countered. There always has to be an argument about it, which is really dumb. Not everything has to be an argument. In fact, it'd probably be better if nothing was an argument. If we see something we disagree with or don't like, ignore it. Just pretend you didn't see it, because it doesn't affect you. Sure, you could say, well, people who have these these homophobic sort of worldviews do affect me because because then gay people can't get married. Okay, look, just because people are homophobic doesn't necessarily mean you have to argue with them, because arguing with them on the internet isn't going to do anything. Okay, because then you start getting into politics and voting, which, I mean, let's face it, arguing with someone about gay rights over the internet is not going to change whether or not they vote yes or no on gay marriage. I mean, that's just common sense, okay? So, just arguing with people on the internet about these things is foolish. If you really want to get into it, then, email them, or send them just a message on Tumblr instead of commenting with a long rant on their post, or, I don't know, if you actually know them in real life, call them up and have a well-thought-out, logical, reasonable discussion about your two opposing views, okay? And keep it, not, don't be barbaric about it. Be pleasant. Understand that someone else has different views, be it because of religion, be it because that's just how they were brought up, be it just because they have their own views, okay? You don't need to argue it, and people's opinions that you deem wrong, different from yours, and therefore wrong, do not need to be corrected or fixed, because it's an opinion. Opinions differ from person to person. I think this phone is a halfway decent phone, even though it's, not a smartphone. It just looks like a BlackBerry. It's just a cheap, simple little phone, but I think it's great. Whereas someone else, say, well, I don't know, my grandmother's phone's one. Whereas my grandmother has an iPhone. She'd probably say, that's a great phone. And I'm not going to disagree. I think an iPhone's a great phone. I think this one's just fine, too. It's, when you think of it like that, just take one person's opinion on Tumblr and call it this phone, and take another person's opinion and call it an iPhone. Just because it may have more socially accepted points and more explained points doesn't make it better than this one, because it's all in the eye of the person making the judgment. Now, this is probably a pretty poor example, because I'll be honest, I think my grandmother's iPhone is better than this phone, but this suits me just fine. It's simple and not complicated and crap. Plus, I have an iPod, so why do I need an iPhone? But that's not the point. The point is, as I've stated many times, opinions do not need to be argued about. And opinions that you deem incorrect purely because they're different from yours do not need to be fixed. And everyone needs to take a moment and realize that nothing's perfect. Everyone has different opinions, but you don't need to make a major issue out of it. So it's really simple. This is how I get by, and again, really simple. It's not that hard to grasp. It's so easy. My 1-year-old brother could probably do this. Just stop giving a fuck, okay? If there's any opinion that's different from yours, sorry, low battery. If there's any opinion that's different from yours, that you disagree with, just disregard it. Ignore it. No need to launch into a rant about it. No need to, like, start rambling on and on about how that opinion is wrong, because opinions cannot be wrong. Okay, opinions are what certain people think of certain subjects. What a person thinks, now, I'm probably using terrible wording here, but what a person thinks cannot be wrong. Now, the only reason this wording is terrible is because if a person thinks 2 plus 2 is 5, technically they're wrong. But that's not what I mean. Okay, you all know what I mean. Don't pretend you don't, because then you're just looking for an argument against me, because you think my whole giving a fuck thing, or not giving a fuck thing, is wrong. But no. Opinion, not wrong. Opinions cannot be wrong, because they are opinions. Facts can be wrong. Like 2 plus 2 equals 5 is wrong. Okay? Opinions cannot ever be wrong. Get that in your head. Okay, I intended this video, first and foremost, as a message to Tumblr. Get your act together. Stop caring about opinions that are contradictory to yours. And just let it go, okay? Not everything needs to be an argument. I've said that probably 20 times in this video. But just stop. I mean, I'm not even a very active member of the social rights issues on Tumblr. And it's not because I don't care. It's because I cannot take the fact that every single facet of every single point that you make has to be airtight, or it will be completely destroyed, okay? Because yes, social issues are issues, okay? But you cannot just attack someone's opinion or their viewpoint purely because of who they are, okay? You just need to stop caring. And I need to stop this video because it is getting close to 13 minutes, and I'm pretty much just saying the same shit over and over again. But there's plenty of people on Tumblr who are saying the exact same stuff I am, but you don't seem to listen. Which is why I made a video, hoping that a video would encourage you to listen. So just keep that in mind, please. And I really hope we can, build off of this and maybe have a more welcoming and not so judgmental Tumblr community. Thank you. Bye.